Hello there. So I was listening to a story by a soldier called Gunther, and he was in the Wehrmacht in 1942. He was 18 and he got trained as a heavy machine gunner. He also got trained as a motorbike rider. He could drive trucks and half tracks and all that kind of stuff. But he was 18 and he got sent to Stalingrad. He served a little bit in Stalingrad, but got injured and then got sent out of Stalingrad. And when he got better and had to go back to his unit had been reassigned to another part of the front. And he couldn't return because they didn't know where his unit was, so he ended up having to join up with another battle group. But at that point, the Soviets had broken through and were doing Operation Uranus. So he had to pull back one night in this winter storm, heavy blizzard and all that kind of stuff. And they ended up coming to their little bridgehead, and not many of the units actually made it to this little bridgehead so they could make a battle group. And eventually an 88 arrived, and they were able to set up a little bit of a defense on this bridgehead. But this 88 did well. It took out a lot of their tanks that came to attack their position and all that. But one day the Soviet tanks worked out where this 88 was and they blew it up. So they had no anti-tank capabilities at that point. So there was this tank running through their position and no one knew what to do. They were all freaking out and hiding and all that kind of stuff. And this tank was just taking them out. And it seemed like, these were just average infantry people. They were sort of freaked out and they didn't know what to do. Then all of a sudden, a half-track rocked up with one of these 75mm cannons on, and they unloaded their gun really quickly and aimed up. But the T-34 noticed them, and he's turning the turret, but they unload their first round and it hits them straight in the turret. Then a few seconds later they unload another round and it hits the T-34 again and ignites the ammunition in the T-34 and absolutely blows it up. And then he said everyone in the position was like, hooray, and they were all yelling and screaming and carrying on because they were all so relieved. And they all went up to this gun crew and they were all thanking them, and it was like they were rock stars for the day. But that was just a little story I recall hearing from an audiobook that I just listened to.